there is going to be a period of 5 minutes for questions at the end, and it's minimum 1 question for that period. So I'm just going to let the judges present themselves.
Good afternoon, my name is Fanny. I'm in charge of the category management for Labatt in Quebec.
I'm Anne-Marie. I'm the Sales Intelligence Manager for Labatt in Quebec.
I'm Charles. I'm the Trade Marketing Lead for Quebec.
I'm Anthony, and I am the District Sales Manager in JDC.
So, there you go.
All right, so I'll start off by thanking everyone present here right now to hear out our proposal for Labatt Brewing Company. We really appreciate your presence. So over the past 150 years, Labatt has conquered Canadian hearts by brewing their original beer recipe, but also other alcohols of brands it acquired along the way. The crowning of its past success is its assertion of dominance on the current Canadian market. However, as any company, Labatt needs to establish a growth strategy in order to respond to the turbulent times of the maturity of the beer market, but also of changing consumer wants and needs. Thankfully, we're here to help with that. Today, Vanessa, Frederic, and I from N Group Consulting will take you through our growth strategy for the future years for Labatt. In the recent years, as I'm sure you're aware, Labatt has acquired various non-beer beverages, for example, the ones shown on the slide. We'll start off by the status quo, moving on to our opportunity statement, alternatives we considered when coming up with our proposal, finally, the focal point, the recommendations, then how we suggest they be financed, when our suggestions are to happen, with a brief summary, after which we'll move on to the question and answer period. As you can tell, our presentation will be in English, but ne soyez pas surpris parce que nous sommes aussi prêts pour répondre à vos questions en français. So the status quo. Currently, the beer market is saturated. There's plenty of products, and beer is in the maturity stage. Yes, sales are increasing, but only marginally, especially compared to ready-to-drink beverages. But also, the pressure is high, seeing that spirits and wine are enjoying great popularity and increasing sales every year. That's a threat for Labatt. However, there's an opportunity because every year thousands of immigrants come into Canada to build a new life. So far, however, that influx of immigrants hasn't translated to an increase in beer. As for trends, we know that there's a dominance of products that target specifically men, and that's another opportunity that Labatt should seize. As I'm sure many of us here are aware, many people are becoming increasingly concerned with the health effects of what they eat, but also what they drink. Take, for example, a can of Pombe, where after drinking that can, there's 250 calories in it. That's about half the amount of calories that you'd want from a full lunch. This is concerning, seeing that around 65% of all Canadians over 18 struggle with being overweight or obese. In terms of the market structure of Labatt right now, the parent company, AB InBev, accounts for about 38% of all beer sales in Canada. Speaking of, that number is slightly lower for ready-to-drink beverages. The parent company accounts for just about a quarter of sales in Canada. Labatt's primary competitor, Molson Coors, accounts for 29.7% of sales on the other hand. We see from this that the market is polarized between these two large companies in terms of beer and ready-to-drink beverages. Over the next few minutes, we will convince you that by implementing our consumer-oriented strategy, Labatt will protect its current sales while expanding its customer base and ensuring future growth, to increase profits by approximately $20 to $30 million within only 1 year of the launch of the project that we're suggesting.
As you may know, Labatt has been beer brewing since the early years, so its long tradition of beer brewing has made its reputation and is part of the Canadian heritage. This is the first criteria we use to define our alternatives. Then we have the quality of products, because it pays in the long run. Accessibility and feasibility are two non-negotiables, since if the product is not accessible, consumers will not be able to buy it. So we determined that the best two strategies would be the malt ready drinks and the non-alcoholic beer. And what is a beer company without a beer strategy? Let me introduce you our beer strategy, which is we want Canadians to be united by a product, a country, and a community. Now let me explain what the letter stands for. King engage women with a new product line and reaffirm sense of community. So let me start with the first layer. So by boosting your summer sale, we mean introducing the summer limited edition, which will introduce a new innovative design on the cans representing the 10 provinces and 3 territories of Canada. So this edition will be offered both in non-alkalized and alkalized beer to respond to increasing demand of non-alkalized beverages. So these kind of beverages will be offered to people who can't drink alcohol, just like due to religious reason, just like immigrants, or to health reason, just like pregnant women. So when the customer will enter a convenience store, he will get the chance to choose between our summer limited edition pack or any other another brand pack of beer. So our 6-pack of beer will be $7.49. And what makes him choose our Labatt summer limited edition is that, first of all, the innovative design will attract him, and second of all, he will get a chance to win a big prizes, which is a trip on the Trans-Canadian Railway or many other instant rebates. So how does it work? In fact, he will get a code that uniquely identify him, and he will need to enter it on the website of Labatt to know if he won anything. So the contest itself is an advertisement, and we will focus on online advertising. This is an example of what it can look like. So Discover Canada's Wonders with Labatt will boost your summer sale while maintaining good relationship with your loyal customers who are now having more option with their alcohol consumption, so non-alkalized or low-alkalized products. Also, this summer limited edition will offer different options to consumers who may not want to have alcoholic beverages or want to have healthier consumption.
Thank you, Frederick. I will now introduce the third pillar of our strategy, which has a main objective of engaging women with a new product line. Now, as Labatt particularly portrays a masculine mood, we decided to create a new product line with a modern design that will make, with a name that will make women smirk. Hence, I gladly present to you the Label product line. Now, imagine a 25-year-old woman named Mary. So Mary has a very busy lifestyle and tries to balance her personal life with her professional life and tries to stay as healthy as she can. Now, as we all do, I'm sure, Mary enjoys a typical night out with her friends. And as they go to the grocery stores to prepare for this night, some of her friends directly go to the beer section. But Mary is torn between ciders, wines, spirits, liquor, and doesn't seem to find the healthier alcoholic beverage that she needs or wants. And this is where we see an opportunity to target women from age 20 to 35 years old who are searching for a healthier alcoholic beverage. Now, you might be wondering, why would Mary decide to go with our Label drinks instead of any other drink on the market? Well, Label drinks will be sweetened with natural stevia and will be malt-based flavored drinks with an alcoholic content of 3.5%, and we aim for a drink of 120 calories. Now, each one of the drinks that we will release will be personalized to a certain type of mood or type of personality or even a state of mind that will directly target our consumers. The following three drinks will be released. So there's the Rebelle, Serene, and Elegance. Now, you might be wondering what makes our product launch stand out from all others on the market. Well, it's simple. I am glad to present to you our Be the Artist campaign, which is a flavor creation contest that will constitute the 4th product in our Label product line. So, to capitalize on our target consumers' social awareness and frequent use of online communities, we will encourage consumers to submit a flavor for the 4th drink with a catchy pitch and with a catchy name and a quick pitch. Then there will be a filtering of ideas, and 3 finalists will be chosen. And then once again, we will let the public decide which flavor is the winning flavor with a public vote. Now, the winner of this of the winner of the contest will receive a monetary compensation, and we suggest the company make this 1% of the flavor's net sales in the first year of launch. Now, in regards to benefits for the company, this marketing strategy called crowdsourcing will not only build loyalty, engage consumers, and create commitment, but it will also allow the company to get first-hand insights into consumer behaviors and consumer preferences, and this at large scale. The overall cost of this product launch will be approximately $150 to $160 million, and would generate revenues to 10 to 15%.
Now let's shift from speaking about label as a concept to what a customer would see in store and what they'd have to pay for it. On this slide, you see examples we've prepared for what the design of the can could be. Some things that stand out are the flashy colors, the graphics of female silhouettes, and the tasty, fresh, and healthy-looking fruit on the cans. As for the packaging, we suggest a can with a volume of 355 milliliters and tall and slim shape. The reason for this is to show the customer an association between the fact that what's in it is a healthier alternative to what's on the market already. Now, as for the price, we suggest that Laval sells packs of 6 cans to retailers for a price of $10.70, and this would render a solid profit margin. A pessimistic forecast would be 10%, but on the optimistic side, it might be as high as 15%. Effectively, the price that consumers would have to pay for those 6 cans would be $16.99. This price strategy falls under the price skimming strategy. It conveys the fact that yes, this good will be more expensive than goods belonging to a similar category on the market already, but this is because the good is of higher quality. Additionally, this strategy implies that during high sales seasons, so summer and winter holiday seasons, Labatt should put in place promotional allowances to boost the sales even higher than they would be otherwise.
Thank you, Andy. I'll continue with the promotion strategy for this product line, and the main objective here is to build awareness. So we have divided, so the budget for, we have allocated approximately 10% of expected sales to the marketing budget, and this comes up to between $15 and $20 million. Now we have divided this in 3 specific sections. So the first section is online advertisements. So by this we mean social media, Facebook, Instagram, or any other platforms that our target market uses. And the second step of this would be search engine publicity to facilitate consumers' search of information about the product. Now the second pillar of our promotion strategy is our Be the Artist campaign, which is a flavor with the flavor creation contest that I've spoken to you earlier about. And this will create instant publicity for the company. And finally, the third step of our promotion strategy is that Labatt will sponsor events such as Oshiaga or Le Festival d'été à Québec to directly engage with consumers. Now, this, and by this I mean with on-site promotion and samples. This will not only allow consumers to directly make an association between the feeling of pleasure they feel during these events with the Label drinks, but it will also allow the company to get direct feedback from consumers about the drinks. So these are examples of ads that you'd find online, and we are going more with an emotional appeal for these ads, so consumers will then be intrigued and go search online. And this is the second one. Now, in regards to distribution, when we're talking about a product like beer or alcohol that requires low purchase effort from consumers, accessibility is key. And hence, we will be selling our Label drinks in grocery stores and to target older women and convenience stores that will target a younger customer base. So with this said, a Label product line will be utilizing the existing indirect distribution network of Labatt by going through retailers to sell to consumers. Now, in the convenience store display, in the grocery store display that you see, you can see that there will be a special stand at the entrance of the store to create a wow effect, or a sense of, oh, I've seen this before. And then at the end, when you get to the alcoholic beverages section, the drinks will be located in open refrigerators, which will make them easily accessible. Now, preferably, we would position them at the end or close to the dairy and egg section, since women always tend to go there when they're grocery shopping, which would make, again, the products easily accessible. I will now go over the fourth pillar of our strategy, our beer strategy. So, reaffirming a sense of community. Now, what we mean by this is, first, promote smart drinking and healthier drinking. Smart drinking and healthier drinking. So when we mean smart drinking, we mean a concern for society in general. And by this, as my colleague Frédéric spoke to you earlier about, we will be promoting the non-alcoholic beers in our summer limited edition of Labatt drinks. And the second step of this pillar is more about promoting health. So care about ourselves. And we have portrayed this with our Label product line of healthier flavored malt beverages. I will now go through a quick rundown of the financials that support our strategy. So in regards to the Label product line, the company will be required to put down a $15 to $20 million initial investment, mainly for adapting infrastructures for the production of the drinks. In regards to costs, the main costs will be purchases, marketing, and distribution. And by this, you can see in the graph that in blue you have the revenues, and in orange, you have our costs. We would attain profit margins of 10 to 15% in our first year. In regards to the summer limited edition that my colleague Frédéric spoke to you about earlier, our main costs will be, then again, purchases, marketing, and distribution, since Labatt already achieves economies of scale on their Label Blue beverages. Labatt Blue, beverages. And so we expect that revenues will be in a range of $45 to $55 million, which will allow the company not only to attain 5 to 10% profit margin, but also would allow the company to gain approximately 0.75 to 1% of the Canadian brewing industry, and this in only 4 months. Now, we attribute the success of our financial success of our strategy mainly to the consumer orientation that builds loyalty, commitment, and increases sales, making Labatt or Label the go-to alcoholic beverage. I will now leave you with Frédéric, who will go over the implementation of our strategy.
So let's proceed to when all this will happen. So first of all, I would like to draw your attention on February of 2019, which is when we want the graphics to be done for the summer limited edition cans. Then the marketing campaign will be launched on April 2019, so we can launch the product for the summer of the same year. The winners of the contest will be announced in mid-August, and the trip can be done during the following year. As for Label, the advertising will begin in November of 2019, and the launch of the 3 first flavor will be early December, which happens to be the beginning of the higher season of just before the holiday season. So we will launch a contest by February of 2020. Excuse us the typo error here. And we will also let the public vote during the whole month, and this will be in April of 2020. So all of the product line will be launched by summer of 2020 as for the 4 label products. Yes, so let's summarize. What we want you to remember from this presentation is, first of all, our beer strategy is a promising solution for your company and will ensure sustainable and profitable growth for the next years. So by boosting your summer sale encouraging reasonable drinking, engaging women with a new product line, and reaffirming a sense of community, we ensure that your firm will have a profitable growth. Nous avons commencé notre présentation en mentionnant que la BAT a fait partie de la tradition brassicole canadienne. Nous voulons maintenant nous tourner vers le futur et assurer un avenir avec une solution consistante pour les prochaines années. Merci de nous avoir écoutés et nous sommes désormais prêts à accueillir vos questions en français ou en anglais, donc selon vos préférences.
Donc là, votre recommandation, c'est de lancer 2 produits, si je comprends bien. Pas en anglais ou...
Non, allez-y.
Ok. Votre recommandation, c'est de lancer 2 produits avec des timelines différents, c'est ça? Bien ça. Jusque-là, c'est bon? Ouais. Pourquoi vous pensez que... Enfin, 2 produits, je veux dire 2... Est-ce que dans les labels, il y a plus que 2 produits? Mais pourquoi vous vous investissez dans 2 choses qui sont radicalement différentes? En même temps? J'ai pas trop compris le timeline pour être... parce que j'ai compris qu'il y avait une histoire de typo, mais c'est pas clair pour moi le timeline de quand on fait quoi.
Donc, en fait, on commence par le lancement de l'édition limitée pour l'été. Pour nous, ça a été évident qu'il y a une demande qui est croissante du côté des buveurs de bière qui veulent avoir le bon goût de la bière, mais pas nécessairement l'effet buzz. On veut le lancer rapidement parce que le produit est déjà développé. Seulement, on a l'impression qu'il pourrait avoir un effort marketing qui pourrait faire grossir les ventes. Et c'est un marché tellement émergent qu'on ne voulait pas manquer de ce côté-là. Et suite à cet effort marketing-là, on lançait vraiment une nouvelle ligne de produits qui prend plus de temps à développer. Surtout qu'on veut essayer de diminuer les calories et tout, qui sont, on n'est pas chimiste, hein, on ne sait pas nécessairement combien de temps ça peut prendre pour trouver une solution à ça. Donc oui, en effet, c'est deux projets qui se succèdent, mais encore là, notre deuxième projet, c'est le plus important, puis c'est lui qui va aller chercher, qui est plus risqué, mais qui va aller chercher une plus grande part du marché également.
Regarding your pricing strategy for Label, I see that we're looking at a cost of $10.70 and a BDC at $17. So if I do like quick maths, we'll make like $1.50 for every 6 packs as a 15% margin. I'm going to provide a retailer to a 60% margin. So how come I give more dollars to the retailers than I do on the products?
Right, so thank you, very interesting question. So what we decided, so based on industry averages, so I'll start with how we decided the price of our products to consumers. So based on, we did a perceptual map basing on the basis of price and healthiness of the product, and we positioned Label as a higher price and a healthier content, which gave us approximately $17 price to consumers for 6 packs. And then we looked at industry averages for retailers, which are approximately 40%. And by deducting this, we would get, we achieved a $10.70 price to retailers. And, oops, sorry. And as for the profit margin, so the profit margins, the 10 to 15%, then again, they're based also comparative to industry averages for ready-to-drinks, and this is really the global, the profit margin of the global project, of our global project, yes.
Pourquoi une association avec la date bleue pour une bière sans alcool? Puis je pense que même dans une de vos slides, vous l'avez montré, on a déjà la date bleue 0.5. Donc pourquoi refaire une autre désalco un peu en quelque sorte, édition limitée, puis la date bleue est une brand qui part des parts de marché depuis plusieurs années aussi. C'est un fait à noter, donc pourquoi une association avec la date bleue?
Donc, en fait, quand on s'est questionné sur comment lancer une bière sans alcool qui peut aller chercher ce marché émergent, on a d'abord regardé qu'est-ce qui était offert de votre côté. D'ailleurs, vous avez déjà investigué à ce sujet. Pour nous, c'était évident que regarder du côté des bières, c'était pertinent parce que ça représente la plus grosse rentrée de revenus pour l'instant. On ne sait jamais pour les prochaines années. Donc, offrir une bière sans alcool qui est associée à la batte bleue nous était comme évident parce que depuis plusieurs années, la batte bleue a fait sa renommée. Je veux dire, pourquoi changer un nom qui est déjà dans les oreilles un peu de tout le monde? On connaît ça. C'est sûr que la batte bleue a perdu des parts de marché dans les dernières années. Néanmoins, je crois qu'on peut aller rechercher ces parts de marché-là en réapprochant un peu le marché avec cette idée de désalcooliser. Donc, oui, c'est associé, mais je pense que les gens vont voir la différence. Puis le côté des designs attractifs, des designs qui sont uniques et innovateurs, va aller redonner un nouveau sens à cette marque-là qui a fait ses preuves et qu'on veut garder avec nous.
Donc, si jamais vous avez des questions,
Merci.
Thank you.
Merci pour votre temps. Thank you for your time.
Merci pour votre chance. Merci pour votre time. Merci pour votre temps.
Mais je pensais qu'elle allait nous mettre ça dans le sens.